So we have a scenario here, right? A outdoor fixed tanks, cone roof tanks, right? And we know we need foam protection for that system, which is surface foam chamber, right? From the top, we will apply foam onto the system to extinguish the fire. So the tank type is the cone roof. The diameter is 120 feet, big tanks, and the fuel storage is crude oil. 1400 GPM at 110 psi from the fire pumps. So what should be the size of the foam system that we are going to discuss now. Here we have a typical schematic for roof tanks, right? We have a fuel, and from the top, from the foam chambers, it is discharging the foam items on the top and extinguishing the fire by displacement of the oxygen, vapor suppression, and the cooling effect. So the first step is the step we have to determine the fuel in the storage tank, right? The fuel is crude oil we have, and what type of the foam required for that one, right? So we need 3% AFF has been chosen based on those data sheet and the properties of the aqueous field forming foams or fighting fuel storage tanks fire. Then we have flow rate for this application as for NFPA 11. Now NFPA 11 table 52522 says that the flow rate for the crude oil should be 0.10 GPM per square feet, right? To the outer or to the top of the surface. So based on that, we have to first calculate the surface area, right? To calculate the surface area of those surface area of that pi r square formulas, how to find the area of a circle, right? So based on that, we multiply 3.14 into 18.3, which is our which is the diameter of this tank. You guys are there, right?
Yes, Mr. Ravi.
Okay, so we have our diameter around 36.6 meters divided by 2 for getting the rate. And then putting the value of our 18.3 here, we got the surface area of around 1051 square meter or 11,310 square feet. And we know the application rate, right? 4.1 LPM multiplied by this the area, the surface area, we got a value of around 4,311 LPM. If we or if you can convert those values to GPM, it should be 1149 GPM multiplying by 0.10. So we need a foam water solution at a rate of around 1149 GPM, right? For the duration, which we'll discuss what is the duration for this foam application for this case. To determine the quantity and size of foam chambers, right? The foam chambers we need to put on the top of the tanks, right, at some distance based on the diameter of those tanks. So NFPA 11 table 52521 says that a tank of around 36.6 meter diameter requires 2 foam chambers, right? So we need 2 foam chambers for that one. And the total foams required from our previous calculation is 1149 GP. So just to get how much foam we need from one chambers, we can just divide this by 2 because our tanks need 2 foam chambers. Maybe you put one at this location and put one at this location, and it will discharge a equal amount of foam water solutions. So the total flow will be divided by 2 foam chambers, Now we have 566 GPM coming from this one. We have to we have to check the foam chambers, right? What should be the size of the foam chambers for this application? So the foam chamber should be selected based on this discharge 556 GPM, right? So now we are moving on to determine the required discharge time, right? So as for NFPA table 52521 way of discharge time of 55 minutes. So we need 5 minutes of discharge for this conditions continuous, right? So we need this must flow for the fixed fire protection system, and also we have to add the manual fire protection system for those applications. So those monster hose or from the nearby manual fire protection equipment or fire hydrant. 20 table size. So based on supplementary hose table for 120 feet diameter tanks, we need two hose stream, right, from two sides, which can be provide 50 GPM flow at for 30 minutes. 50 GPM flow means it's foam water solution. We are talking about the foam water solution for 30 minutes to fight the fire manually. Now we discussed that for the fixed fire protection system, we need some flow for 55 minutes, and for the hose station, we need in this tank size, we need two number of hoses. So we'll combine all those together and then we'll add that one. So for the tanks, right, the flow is 1131 GPM multiplied by 0.03, which is the foam concentrate percentage. It means this is AFF 3% foam. So just give it 0.03 to get into the percentage values, and then multiply by the duration. So for the tanks, we need 1866 gallon of foam. Foam concentrate. It means the raw foam, right? It is just foam concentrate of this much capacity, around 7,113 liter or 1866 gallons. Now we have to calculate for the supplementary requirement, which is fire hose stations. Manual fighting appliances. We have two number of hose outlets required for this diameter of the pumps. Multiplying all together, we need 90 gallons of foam concentrate for two fire hose cabinet. So all this together we have to add into the final solution, and we need a foam concentrate of around 1956 gallon, or let's say we need around 2000 gallons or 2 cubic meter of the foams, right, for this tank applications. Now moving on to the equipment sizing, right? The proportioning equipment, how foam water mixed with the waters at correct proportional, like 1%, 3%, or 6%. I think we discussed we discussed in our class, a theory class, that it's works on based on the Venturi principle and the continuity equation with the Bernoulli principle applications. So what is those equipment requirement for this one? What should be the size of the proportioning equipment, right? So the proportioning equipment must be sized for operation to the largest tank in the system, right? So we have a data sheet from KMGOD, right? This is one of the manufacturer of the fire protection equipment, and he is manufacturing the foam concentrate and manufacturing the foam proportionals, right? So they have given some size of the proportional, right? We have around 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch. You can see in the left one, and With 3 inch, we can get a foam solution at around 17 to 800 GPM. And for 8 inch, for 4 inch, we have 200 to 1000 GPM, and so on up to 8 inch. And our requirement is our foam solution required for these tanks is, including hose steam, is around 1249 GPM, right? So if you can see the table in the left, to meet this demand, we need a foam proportional of 4 inch, right? So the side of the foam proportional is 4 inch for this application. And then we have to size the bladder tank capacity, right? We determine the minimum foam required is around 1956 gallons, right? Which is 2 cubic meter of approx. Based on that, we can data from Ansul made bladder tanks, right? So we need a bladder tank size of minimum around 2000 gallons for this application, right? And while selecting the bladder tank, right, we should consider for the future expansion, right? If your project is getting expanded in the future and more tanks is coming with larger diameter and all, keep in mind we can keep our bladder tanks of larger size to overcome this situation in the future. And now coming for the foam chamber sizing, right? Remember we discussed in beginning a little while ago that we need two foam chambers which can say around 11,400 GPM divided by 2 means around 600 GPM from one foam chambers. So if you can see this foam chambers from Ansul, right? They have given the model number and the K factor and what should be the recommended flow from these chambers, right? So our requirement is something around 610 GPM, right? From one foam chambers. Let me see what is the requirement. Our requirement is 566 GPM from one foam chambers at the top of the tanks. (566) requirement, we have a best solution is around AFC 330 because this can supply us the foam solution at around 610 GPM maximum, right? So this model we can select for our project for this requirement. And the K factor should be between 28.9 to all the way up to 61.0. So the final solution is that our minimum foam solution required as per the calculation is 566 GPM for one foam chambers. So based on the free table, AFC 330 is applicable for our requirement. Now the pipe sizing and selection method shall be as per pipe sizing and selection method should be as per hydraulic calculation software, right? We have to do the software and then we'll size the pipe element. But keeping in mind in the foam velocity at any point of discharge into the tank cannot be more than 3 meter per second for class 1 liquid or 6 meter per second for all other classes. So we have to keep in mind the maximum velocity shall not be more than should be between 3 meter for class 1 liquid and more than that up to 6 meter per second for other classes. In any case, we cannot go above that one. Now we have the types of piping we need for the concentrate pumps, right? Materials. We discussed in the beginning the foam concentrate pipe and valve shall be made of brass, a bronze or a stainless steel. Carbon steel piping cannot use for the concentrate piping because it will cause easily. And even it shall not be galvanized also. So we cannot use carbon steel pipe. That too, even it is galvanized, it is not allowed for our project. The only we have to use the corrosion resistant material because the concentrate is highly corrosive in their raw forms. I mean, when they are stored as a concentrate like 3%, 6%, and so on, we have to be careful regarding that. So the piping for the foam concentrate shall be manufactured at for American Society of Testing Material A312, B43 or B315. These are the requirement for them. And the fittings will be as per the requirement given below: NCB 16.5, NC 16.11, and 15 and 24. This is like the types of the fitting, maybe threaded one, welded one, or the flange type. Now coming to the foam solution piping, we discussed regarding the concentrate piping from the bladder tank to the water supply line. Now from foam water solution, what should be the pipe? Right? The pipe might be galvanized stainless steel pipe. Right? We can use internal, external corrosion resistant pipe as for the foam manufacturer or requirement. The foam data sheet can give you what side of the pipe we are going to use for our application. Right? And this piping should be as for ASTM A53 or ASTM A135 and those requirements. And the foam solution piping should be given with some pitch looking, right? There might be some, we have to give some drainage allowances, like 4 mm per meters, right? So that there should be adequate drainage into the piping. We can drain foam water solution easily. Something like this, 4 mm for a length of 1 meter. For the galvanized steel pipe, we know the C factor from our previous class, which is 120, right? And we can use the Hazen-Williams formula for calculating this, the hydraulic calculation, right? So this is all about designing a foam system for storage tanks, which is for above seal protection, right, and below seal protection into our manual. The concept is the same. That you just have to refer the book and apply your skills and knowledge to get the more criteria from those books. Yes, any doubts so far?
No, for me it's clear.
Yeah, Ahmed.
Yes, clear, Mr. Ravi.
Okay, so any other guys? I'll be moving on to the next one now. It is for dike area field protection, right? We need foam protection for this dike areas. So normally dike area is the bounded from all the four sides, so that we can limit the fuel spill from the tanks in that area only. So not go outside up to those areas to minimize the group to other areas. So a dike area is the area surrounded by physical barrier to retain fuel spillage, right, up to a depth of 1 inch, right, or more. So this dike can contain fuel depth up to minimum from 1 inch, 1 inch of the depth, or even the higher one. So we need dike to protect our areas. So how we can protect the dike by the foam system? We have low level fixed mounted foam makers, right? If you can see, we have a foam makers here. This is the foam makers. It will discharge the foam solution into those area if there is a fire. In case of the experience and there is a fire, it will just protect the fire. Only the monitors should be located outside the dike area, and foam water spray nozzles over the hazard areas. Right? We can use all those three possible configuration for different applications. So the minimum application rate for dike area protection as for NFPA 11 table 5732 is 0.10 GPM per square feet for square feet, and 0.16 for the foam monitor. So density for the monitor is higher than the density of the low level foam discharge outlets, right? And the duration for class 1 hydrocarbons should be 30 minutes, and duration for class 2 hydrocarbons is 20 minutes. This specification normally comes from NFPA 30, which define the classification of the liquid based on their flammability and combustibility criteria. And where we need flammable liquid, as for fighting for flammable liquid requiring air, aqueous film forming foams type concentrate, the discharge time shall be minimum of 30 minutes as for 11. We cannot, as for NFPA 11, so we cannot go below 30 with case of the AR AFF foams. So here we have a tank monitors, right? We have a monitors connected at this location. One we have at this one. This is the one. Here we have to fight the fire. This is the water supply to the monitors line. This is our foam concentrate devices, the proportioning devices. This is our line coming from the foam system, from the bladder tanks, mixing together and going all the way to this piping. So in the case of the fire, we can fight the fire with this foam solution. So when utilizing fixed foam makers for dike area protections, the maximum recommended spacing between discharge outlets is 9.1 meter at 60 GPM flow rate or less, or if or 18.3 meter or 60 feet for flow rate more than 60 GPM. Now we have one calculation for the dike area calculation, right? The protection of dike area for the foam solutions. We have three storage tanks into our dike area. Right? So this is our dike area. We have three storage tanks. Right? So these three storage tanks need to be protected with the foam solutions. So we have to calculate the quantity of the foam required, number of monitors. So the dike area is 80 feet by 80 feet. So it is a square areas of 80 feet by 80 feet length, right? And it's total around 6,400 square feet, something around 595 square meter areas. So we need to calculate the foam requirement for the dike area. Keep in mind, we don't have to deduct this area also. We have to consider all those areas, right? So we don't have any allowance to only use the use a free space. We have to use the complete diking area, which is in this case 6,400 square feet, including the inside the dike. So now moving on to calculate the minimum rate and discharge duration for this application, right? As we discussed, class 2 fuels require minimum rate of 0.10 GPM per square feet over a discharge time of 30 minutes. So we need discharge for 30 minutes at 0.1 GPM per square feet. So based on the dike area and the density application rate, we can simply multiply 6400 square feet to 0.10. We got 640 GPM, right? So we need 640 GPM, 640 gallon per minute over those dike areas for fighting the fire. So the next one we have a step 4, which is for determine the quantity of foam concentrate required for this application, right? So we need 64 GPM per minute for this area, multiplied by 0.03, which is 3% concentrate, and 30 minutes, right? So
Mr. Rabi, here why we select 30 minutes?
because NFPA 11 says for dike area protection we need only 30-minute duration only for the liquid types.
Yeah, but we have class 2 hydrocarbon, right?
Okay, let me see that one, class 2.
I was confused.
Yeah, maybe a sec. Yeah, we class 2 hydrocarbons. Maybe it is mistake from my side by putting 30 minutes or 20 minutes during the calculation.
So
here
here,
also is the 30 minutes. You just consider class 1 fuel.
okay.
Provide the. Just wait a moment. What is the foam we are needing for that one? Because there is another criteria in NFPA that if we are using AFFF type foams, aqueous film forming forms, we have to take the minimum 30-minute discharge as for NFPA 11, right? So in that case, if you are using the film forming forms, alcohol resistant aqueous film forming forms, we have to select 30 minutes only, not the 20 minutes. So maybe the foam we are using for this protection, regardless of the classes of the hydrocarbon fuels. So maybe this requirement overcome that one.
Yeah, very clear.
So we need 640 gallon per minute of foam water solution into those areas. Now we have calculating the foam concentrate required, the raw one. So 640 multiplied by 0.03, which is 3%, and then multiplied by 30 minutes. We need 575 gallons of foam concentrate for this application, which will be enough for 30 minutes. So based on that, we have to size the bladder tank capacity or maybe the atmospheric foam storage tanks for this application. And then we have to determine the number of fixed foam makers, how many foam makers we need over the dike area. Okay, all over the dike area, what is the foam makers requirement?
Mr. Rabi, now until the previous slide, regardless of how we will apply the foam, it is the same quantity, right?
Yeah, the quantity is the same.
Either by monitors or foam maker, it is the same.
Yeah, it is the same one. Then we have step 5 now. We want number of fixed foam makers. We are calculating here for the fixed foam makers. So what should be the numbers of fixed foam makers required? If we are using the fixed discharge outlet installed at a low level, right? What is the meaning of low level is this one. So no, it is just discharging the foam in this area at the lowest level. So this is one of the application of the low level fixed foam. We are just going to calculate. So where fixed discharge outlet installed at a low level are used as a primary protection. They shall be located so that no point in the dike area is more than 9 meters from a discharge outlet. Where the discharge per outlet is 60 GPM or less, or if the discharge per outlet is more than 60 GPM or higher, the maximum distance between discharge outlets shall be 18 meters, right? So in our case, our discharge is more than 60 GPM, so we have to space is a spacing between two monitors should be 60 feet away from along the dike area, right? Dike area or hazard would require. Here is the figure we have for those. So we have the nozzles based on the distance, which is around 18 meters between two. Based on that, the figure is not clear here, but the concept is the same. Based on this, we have to locate our foam monitors into the dike area. No, Mr. Anas, we are just calculating here regarding the low level discharge outlet, not for the other one.
Okay, so okay, we are not considering the monitor.
No, we are not considering the monitors. We are just considering for the low level discharge outlets. So this is how we can locate the foam adheres, and this is all about dike area spill protections. And in our manual, we have the same procedures with the step-by-step solutions. You can use the manual also, because in manual we have 5 or 6 exercise, but here with this slide I have just included three exercise. One for the storage tanks. This one is for the dike area protection, and the one we are going to discuss, which is for foam water sprinkler system as per NFPA 16. So now we are talking about the foam water sprinkler system for the warehouse the storage protections, right? So foam and water mixed together and coming as a solution for fighting the fire. So protection for warehouse storage facilities can be accomplished utilizing a foam water sprinkler system. It might be closed one, or it might be the open head, which is the diffuse one, right? And the minimum density should be 0.16 GPM per square feet. 0.16 GPM per square feet as per NFPA 16 7321, right? When we are utilizing the closed head foam water system, the ASD may require an application rate in excess of 0.16 GPM per square feet over a specific area. So when mostly we are using the open nozzles, but if you are using the closed nozzle, we have to use the density higher than 0.16 GPM per square feet, and it might be 0.2 to 0.40 GPM. Before the final starting of the foam system, we have to contact with the authorities having jurisdiction, the one who is responsible for those spacing protections, those space protection. We have to finalize the size based on that. Then for the discharge duration, we have so the foam solution shall be designed to discharge for a period of entire system for deluge and spray foam water system, right? It might be for a wet pipe, dry pipe system, or pre-action system. NFPA 16 required 10 minutes, NFPA 30 required 50 minutes 15 minutes. And sometimes the local ASJ, the civil defense team, or the SCIS, or maybe the loss prevention department, they have their own requirement up to 20 minutes, right? So this is our duration. As for NFPA 16, if we have to follow 10 minutes, if you have to follow NFPA 30, which is for the flammable and combustible liquid code, we have to go for 15 minutes. And sometimes we have to coordinate with the local department teams to get the exact scenario. So the total design area shall be 5,000 square feet for foam, water, wet, dry pre-action system, right? And NFPA 30 requires 3,000 square feet when used to protect solid pile or palletized storage of flammable liquid. So we have requirement from NFPA 16 and we have requirement from NFPA 30. And then the propositioning system, how to mix this together, right? The propositioning system shall be capable of meeting the requirement, right? Exact discharge demand in GPM and the foam percentage propositioning should be as for the design specification. And actual calculated system discharge demand at the most remote, which is 4 sprinkler for wet pipe system, dry pipe system, and pre-action system. So we have to calculate for the 4 sprinkler in the most remote areas for the 4 sprinkler system. And now we have the hydraulic calculation steps for the sprinkler system. Should be as for NFPA 13 because NFPA 13 have given the friction loss formulas, not NFPA 16, right? The friction loss in piping carrying foam concentrate shall be calculated by a Darcy wide mass formula, right? Remember, we always talk about the Hazen-Williams formula, but we have high viscous fluid which is getting changed due to the increase and decrease in the temperature. By time and time, the density of those solution will be decreasing and increasing. So at that moment, Hazen-Williams formula is not accurate for system. So we have to use the Darcy wide mass formula, which is the second one for this requirement. And for purpose of computing friction loss in piping using alcohol resistance foam concentrate, the designer shall consult the foam concentrate manufacturer for friction characteristics, right? So we have to get the input from the data sheet for more clear calculation for our project. Now we have the last example here for the foam solution, right? This is for deluge foam water sprinkler system based on the following scenario. It is designed as for NFPA 16. The area is 4,800 square feet and the material is hydrocarbon liquid and we need 3% AFF foam based on this hydrocarbon liquid. So let's calculate the density requirement and the for this one. The first step, we have the minimum application rate. We have minimum application rate as for NFPA 16 table section 7.3.21 is 0.16 GPM per square feet, right? And the flow rate of the foam solution will be square feet multiplied by the density area, right, which is 0.16. So if you are multiplying 0.16, which is not this is missing here, I think, in the slide. Multiplying 0.16. So we have to multiply the 0.16 by 4,800 square feet and we'll get a value of around 768 GPM. So for these areas, we need 768 GPM. Keep in mind, this is our the warehouse, right? Where we have in the warehouse this is our sprinklers, the foam water spray sprinklers, right? The distance between those sprinklers is 10 feet. So 10 feet is the distance between two sprinkler head for this application. And we have total numbers of 48 sprinklers in this area. So once we calculated the flow rate of the solution, right, which is 768 GPM, and now we have to multiply it for the 10 minutes, right? The duration of discharge is 10 minutes as for NFPA 16. And remember, if it is as for NFPA 30, we have discharge duration for 20 minutes, right? Sorry, 15 minutes. So we have to be careful which code we are going to follow. 16, so we have 10 minutes. Just multiply 768 GPM to 10 and we'll get a value of 7680 GPM, right? Now we have a step third. Sorry, something we are into this slide. Okay, step third we have here, right? The foam concentrate required will be 3%. So multiplying 7680 into 0.03, we need a foam concentrate of 230 gallons, right? 230 gallons or 864 liters for this application. And now we have number of sprinkler heads required. So the sprinkler spacing shall not exceed 9.3 square meters as per NFPA 16. So we just divide this complete area by 9.83 square meter. In this case, we are taking in square feet. So divide 4,800 square feet all to 1,000 square feet, and we need around 48 sprinklers, right? So we need 48 sprinklers for this application, and the foam concentrate required will be 230 gallons, right, for this one. And the duration of discharge is 10 minutes, right? We have the discharge duration is 10 minutes. If you're multiplying all those, we need for 10 minute continuous around 7680 gallons of the foam concentrate solution for this one. So the flow and pressure should be the flow we have 768 GPM. The pressure we have to calculate from the hydraulic calculation software. What is the pressure requirement? But this flow is calculated manually. Maybe it will go higher based on the hydraulic calculation, right? If the pressure is higher, the flow will be going higher. So finally, we have to size the system based on our hydraulic calculation software. And here comes the end of the foam system exercise.